You know you're wasting real hours of your life on people who've already forgotten your name. Fascinating, honestly. Replaying their words like it's some tragic play, and they're not even in the audience anymore. My lovely anomalies. Let's talk about why you're still bleeding for ghosts. Let's begin. Here's a secret nobody tells you. They don't care. They never did. But you keep letting their opinions live rent-free in your skull, like you owe them something. They're not losing sleep. They've moved on completely, probably amused at how easily they got you begging. Meanwhile, you're stuck rehearsing comebacks you'll never say, wondering what you did wrong, when the real answer is nothing. Your only crime was caring, out loud, in a world built to reward people who don't. They called you worthless and you believed it. That's the actual tragedy. You handed them the weapon, hoping if you proved them wrong, they'd stop. They won't. People build you up specifically to watch you fall apart, because something broken is easier to steer. Stay unreachable. Nothing wrecks someone's confidence faster than realizing their insults just bounced off you. The harder you try to prove them wrong, the tighter the trap gets. They'll hurt you and call it a lesson, and you'll smile through it anyway. Here's the actual news. You're allowed to leave. No explanation owed. Sometimes the loudest thing you can say is nothing. They want a reaction. That's the whole game. Silence is the one weapon they never figured out how to counter. It genuinely eats at them. Did you wake up to the lies? Are you planning something? Worse, did you actually stop caring? Life doesn't hand out neat apologies. Even if it did, would it undo any of it? No. You just have more empty words on top of scars already there. So stop waiting on apologies. Rip out whatever only grows in your darkness and plant something that's actually yours. Walk past them like they're furniture. What terrifies them most is being forgotten completely. Some people build their entire identity out of making others small. Underneath it, they're hollow. Let them talk. Nothing deflates arrogance faster than being ignored. Real strength was never about winning the argument. It's the quiet kind, letting them think they won, so you don't waste breath. It's not even a fight if only one person's swinging. Two paths. Spend your life trying to get even, or spend it getting ahead. The people who hurt you aren't even competing anymore. They're busy watching you, hoping for a slip-up that makes their own mess feel more forgivable. Keep that cold, unreadable calm. Speak less. Move quiet. Show them the fire they thought would destroy you is the same fire that built you. Because once you truly stop caring, all their leverage disappears. People love saying forgive and forget, be the bigger person. What they leave out is, forgiveness was never about freeing them. It's about freeing you. You don't forgive because they've earned it. You forgive so you can put it down and walk. But forgiving isn't forgetting. Keep every lesson tucked away, not out of spite, as proof of what you survived. Waking up, still breathing, still moving. That's the thing they genuinely can't stand. Because they expected you shattered, and instead you're walking through it with your mouth shut. That kind of silence is louder than anything they've heard. People who hurt you live for your reaction. That's how they measure their power. The second you stop responding is when real panic sets in. That's when the fake apologies arrive. Not remorse, just checking if the wound still stings. That's when the real smile shows up. The cold one that says you don't register enough to hate anymore. Indifference cuts sharper than anger. The moment they realize they've stopped occupying space in your mind, their whole structure collapses. They're the ones trapped in their own guilt, needing to pull people down just to feel something. Ever notice the loudest "I'd die for you" people vanish first when things get hard? Their betrayal wasn't a tragedy. It was information. Pain clears fog. It shows exactly who was in your corner and who was just along for a free ride. So thank them, silently. Thank them for teaching you what solitude actually feels like. Once you've walked through something brutal alone, you stop needing anyone to hold your hand through the next storm. Stop giving mouth to things already gone. Some bridges are supposed to stay burned. Some people don't apologize because they're sorry. They apologize because they don't want to look like the villain. Learn that distinction, and they lose most of their power. The world is genuinely full of people who lie to your face. That's just weather, not pessimism. The trick was never avoiding getting hurt. It's learning to bleed without needing someone to hand you a bandage. Wear the scars. Let pain sharpen you instead of hollowing you out. They're always watching, checking whether you've cracked yet, digging through your social media, hunting for evidence you've fallen apart. That's how small their worlds become. And you don't even have to try. Simply existing is what unravels them. Smile the empty smile. Speak only when necessary. Move like someone with nothing left to prove, because you don't. You've already come back from worse than this. They want you to snap, to prove their story right. Don't hand them that. Let them lie. Let them rot in whatever they built. Your silence alone is punishment enough. Their opinions were counterfeit currency the whole time. Walk past them, chin level, eyes forward. Real power lives in the quiet, smiling exactly when they expect a meltdown. You've already won by refusing to play their rules. Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you on purpose. They'll twist every word to fit the villain story they already wrote. It was never about truth. It's about keeping you boxed in. Selfish. Cold. They need you playing villain so they get to play victim. The more you defend yourself, the guiltier you'll look to people who already decided. So stop. Truth doesn't need a majority vote. The people worth keeping will see through the noise. The rest were never actually on your side. Real monsters don't hide. They don't lie awake wondering if they went too far. If they genuinely thought you were dangerous, they'd be quieter about it. People talk big when they're betting you won't hit back. Let them underestimate you. What they actually want is the old you, the one who apologized for existing. That version's gone. They keep showing up with flowers for someone who isn't home anymore. Some people are only loyal until loyalty costs them something. Their love has an expiration date. Real growth was never disappearing without a word and crawling back when it's convenient. That's just cowardice with better branding. Real growth is staying, building, becoming someone who doesn't need to run. Stop grieving people who left the second you stopped being useful. Some books have to close so other ones can start. You can't grow anything real out of scraps from a story that already ended. Time doesn't heal. It just teaches you to carry things differently. The scars stop bleeding, but they don't vanish. Healing isn't amnesia. It's remembering without it breaking you all over again. Learning to laugh even with a throat full of thorns. They want to see you shattered because it justifies what they did. If you fall apart, they get to say, "See, we were right." Every morning you get up anyway is proof against that story. That's exactly why they keep circling back. They can't stand watching you thrive without them in the picture. So let them watch. Let your name turn into something they whisper, like a curse, while you turn it into something else entirely. Nothing burns quite like true indifference. Nothing spirals someone out faster than realizing you've moved on and didn't leave a trail back. You've wasted enough time watering things that were never going to grow. Time to pull them out by the root and plant something that actually reaches toward light. Stop being loyal to people who only ever spent your love like currency. They'll keep testing you, hoping for a crack. You'll keep walking. Your silence cuts sharper than any comeback ever could, and your indifference burns hotter than any argument. You don't need revenge. The fact that they're still talking about you long after you stopped mentioning their name already tells you who actually won. Notice how the ones who hurt you always resurface right as you start healing. Convenient, isn't it? Half smiles, hollow apologies, talk of how much they've changed. They're not sorry. They're just checking whether the wound still aches when they press on it. They can't stand watching you rebuild. It keeps them up knowing their absence didn't finish you like they hoped. So they come back with sob stories, hoping you crack just enough to let them back in. That's the actual trap. Don't hand them the matches twice. Listen to your own instincts, the way your hands still shake a little when their name shows up. You owe nothing to people who treated your heart like a game of chance. Let them sit in whatever silence they created. Those "I miss you" texts were never about missing you. They're about missing the control, the way you drop everything for a hint of affection. That's not love. That's ownership dressed nicer. Block the number. Delete what you've been quietly hiding under old wounds. Let them wonder if you even remember their name. Let your silence be the loudest "no" you've ever said without saying it. You keep saying you're done, then hesitating the second they circle back. Stop reopening doors for people who never learned to knock properly. What you actually need isn't closure, it's distance. Space to remember what your own voice sounds like without their static running underneath it. Sometimes things end without a tidy reason. Sometimes people hurt you and sleep just fine afterward. That's not fair, but it's real. And you can't bleed yourself dry trying to force them to understand the damage. Let go, even when it feels like tearing something out of your own chest. That's what staying unbothered actually means. Not pretending it doesn't hurt, but refusing to let the hurt drive. Smiling through gritted teeth. Building with hands that are still shaking. Reclaiming your life one breath at a time, instead of playing the victim in someone else's story. This world is full of people who genuinely believe they're the hero of whatever damage they caused. They'll rewrite the whole story until you start doubting what actually happened. Don't fall for it. You were there. You know the truth. Don't let their guilt become something you have to carry. Stay unbothered, not because it's easy, because it's necessary. Some people will never apologize, and that's fine. You can heal without their permission. Build walls out of the exact stones they threw at you. Let them call you cold. Better cold than endlessly bleeding for people who never once looked down to notice. You'll lose people along the way. That's simply the cost of finding out who was ever real. Let them go. At the end of it, the only person who has to live with your choices is you. Make sure that person is someone you can actually respect. You weren't put here to be anyone's scapegoat. You were put here to build something their poison can't reach. Let them talk. In the end, quiet confidence always outlasts loud noise. One day they'll come back, when the new distractions lose their shine, when they finally remember exactly what they threw away. By then you'll already be gone, and that's their sentence to carry, not yours. Forgive, if you need to, but not for their sake, so bitterness doesn't quietly rot you from the inside. Forgiving was never the same as being weak. Show them their worst still couldn't break you. That's the real revenge. No weapons required, just silence and indifference, because the opposite of love was never hate. It's nothing, and nothing is exactly what they've earned from you. Let them believe they won. Sometimes the smartest move is letting someone think the war's over, while you're quietly building something they'll never see coming. You're not running, you're rebuilding, and when you rise, it'll be without warning, until the whole room has no choice but to notice. They'll pretend they don't miss you, laugh louder, post the curated version of happy, but late at night, when the filters come off, the truth creeps back in. By then, you'll be too far ahead to even hear it. Pain, used right, becomes armor. It teaches you exactly who to trust and who to release. Wear what it taught you like something earned, not something to hide. So keep going. Let them gossip. Let them wait for the crack that never comes. By the time they notice you're not breaking, you'll already be somewhere they can't reach. Not just surviving, becoming something they never had the language for. Unbothered and still rising. Joker.